let's jump to the main slate. What do you like for stacks?
I like the Jared Goff, Amon Ra stack here against the Bears. It's a great matchup. The Bears defense ranks 32nd in DVOA, and they're even worse since they trade away Robert Quinn and Roquan Smith. The Lions offense and Jared Goff play much better at home. This is a home game. While they probably will have a more run-heavy game script this week, Jamal Williams is banged up, so they might actually have to lean on Goff and the short passing game a bit more when they get up big. So, that could just mean a 10 plus catch game here for Amon Ra. Plus, this is the St. Brown Bowl. He's playing against his brother. Went 10 catches for 119 yards against them in week 10. So, a little narrative there for this stack, but always like this stack. And it's cheap enough this week to fire up. And then I'm getting really gross here. I'm going with Russell Wilson and Jerry Jeudy against the Chiefs. This is GPP only, of course. But the Broncos could rally around each other this week after firing Nathaniel Hackett. Last week was obviously an implosion waiting to happen, but they could bounce back this week. And, Wilson and Jeudy went off against the Chiefs back in week 14. They connected for 3 touchdowns. So I could see them having another good game here. What should be obviously a trailing game script where they're going to have to throw a lot. But, they have nothing to lose at this point. So I think Wilson could sneakily have a good game here, like he did back in week 14 against this Chiefs defense.
Yeah, man. It's Judy's been playing really well all year. It's kind of been sneaky because he hasn't had as many touchdowns, but in terms of the volume, he's been getting targeted when he's on the field. So don't hate it. I'm going with Mike White, Garrett Wilson. I just love every time we get White kind of goes out of the lineup and he comes back in, and he's cheap, and Garrett Wilson's cheap as well, just 5,500 on DraftKings. And going against the Seattle team, again, 18th in DVOA versus number 1 wide receivers, despite those talented young corners. So like this one, and Wilson averaging over 11 yards a target from Mike White. So that is kind of the correlation here that you want with that stack. Mike White's yards per attempt could really take a massive jump if you get some yards after the catch or a deep ball or two to Wilson. So love him in this spot. Both of them pretty cheap, affordable options here. All right. Who do you like for dart throws?
So I like 3 running backs in this 4K to 4,400 range. And the first is Khalil Herbert, who's actually 4K against the Lions. He returned to his usual role last week. He actually led in third down snaps. So he saw a 33% routes run rate, typically not seeing that much work in the passing game. So that's good news. But this Lions defense was gashed by both Panthers running backs last week. So this is a great spot, I think, for Herbert and GPPs. And Chase Edmonds, 4,400 against the Chiefs. He was easing last week, but he saw a 36% routes run rate. He's probably going to be the main pass catching back this week in what should be a negative game script against the Chiefs. So I like him. And Ty Davis Price on the Niners is sneaky. He became the number 2 back last week. He saw 9 carries for 30 yards. The 49ers can't gain much by beating the Raiders this week. So I could see them limiting Christian McCaffrey maybe even more this week. So it could be a big game for Davis Price. And then both Jets receivers that you didn't mention, but Corey Davis and Elijah Moore are dirt cheap. Both are around the 3,700, 3,500 range. Both obviously get a bump up with Mike White. Davis always gets a good, bump playing against a zone heavy defense. And Elijah Moore, he dominated slot snaps last week. Braxton Berrios didn't even play a single snap on offense. So that's great news for Elijah Moore's floor and ceiling going forward. And then at tight end, I do think Daniel Bellinger is kind of sneaky at 3,200. He's averaged 97% routes run rate the past 2 games, faces a Colts defense that ranks 27th in DVOA against tight ends. So I could see him popping off for maybe 4 catches here, potentially a touchdown. But I think he's sneaky as a cheap option in GPPs at tight end.
Yeah, Bellinger's, he's been getting crazy usage. It hasn't really translated, but that's something to keep in mind. I'm going with Russell Gage. He's kind of doubled up Julio Jones in routes run, and I think that's here to stay. I don't think it's just because Julio's been a little banged up, although Julio's always in danger of being banged up. But I just think the way this offense is operating right now, Tom Brady just needs another underneath target more than he needs, Julio, who's more like, another Mike Evans. He's going to do more of his work down the field, on the perimeter, intermediate to deep range, whereas Russell Gage is going to be intermediate to short and he's going to be able to kind of catch those quick passes from Brady to keep the sticks moving. So, like Russell Gage here against Carolina, he's averaging 6.5 catches, 62 yards, and a touchdown over his last 2 games on 9 targets. Also, like Alec Pierce, 3,900 on DraftKings against the Giants. Giants run the most man coverage in the league, and Pierce is second on the Colts in targets with 30 and yards with 222 against man coverage. And late in the year, rookie always like to throw some darts at those guys. And another one, Rashid Shaheed, 4K against Philadelphia. Philadelphia plays a lot of zone coverage, and Shaheed averages 3.9 yards per route against zone. And his routes run have been well over 90% the last 2 games. Even the game Olave was in, he played more than him on passing down. So Rashid Shaheed's been kind of an every down guy for the Saints now, and I think he's another guy that can close out the year pretty strong here. And it should be a pass heavier game script than it's been for them over the past few weeks, because I still think that Philly offense, regardless if it's Hurts or Minshew, is going to be able to move the ball and score some points. All right, let's jump into some lineups.
Think you go first on DK this week.
All right, let's go with Garrett Wilson. I like him. I love him at 5,500 here.
Yeah, I was going to ask. Mike White is 100% returning this week, right?
Yeah, they said he got clearance from the doctor, so he should be good to
go. Yeah, let's go with him at QB.
All right. So Mike White is 5,400. Wilson's 5,500. All right, let's see what we got going on at defense. Let's go with the New England Patriots at 2,600. Nice. This Dolphins offense looks like it's going to be without Tua again. So, this Patriots defense, still one of the top defenses in pressure, still one of the top pass defenses overall. And, kind of after that bad start to Joe Burrow against Joe Burrow last week, but they held them in check for like the next 3 quarters. So I think this Patriots defense could get some turnovers against Miami, who's probably still going to throw the ball regardless of who's playing quarterback.
Yeah, I know. I love that play. I think I'm going to go with Leonard Fournette at 5,800, or actually 5,600. Wow. On DK, that's must play. He's last week I was surprised how much he dominated like all the different types of snaps, but it seems like just with the high leverage situations, they're just staying with Fournette. So big game against the Panthers this week, he could have another massive workload. So like him, obviously in GPPs only. I wouldn't trust him in cash, of course.
Yeah. Did you hear what he said about his everyone's calling him? He says he's been playing through a Liz Frank injury all year.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's nuts.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. So we got an average of 61, just under 6,200 left for running back, 2 wide receivers, a tight end, and a flex. Let's see. Who can we go with that running back? Let's go with Travis Etienne at 6,400 against the Texans. Etienne, 22 carries last week, 3 targets as well. Been playing a lot of snaps all year. Some games it's been ugly, but against this Texans defense that is giving up the most fantasy points to running backs, I think this should be another game where Etienne doesn't struggle with efficiency. And he just missed out on a touchdown against the Jets. Yeah. They ran him, I think it was 2 times, or maybe even 3 in a row. And Lawrence ends up getting it, but Etienne easily could have had a much bigger game, and I think would be even more notable this week. But still had the 83 over 100 scrimmage yards, 25 touches. So let's go with him. Ton of upside against the Texans.
I think he just missed out on a touchdown, either against the Cowboys or Titans too. So he's definitely due to score. This is a good spot to do it. Let's see. So we have 6,100. Got to spend up a bit. I have to take Amon-Ra at 7,800 on DK. He is such a good DK play this week. So let's go with him.
All right. So we got just under 5,600 for wide receiver, tight end, flex. Let's go with Darius Slayton. I think he's going to be like very low rostered because Drake London is the same price on DraftKings, and Brandon Cooks is 100 cheaper, and so probably no one's going to touch Slayton, and he kind of took a back seat in that Vikings game to the Hodgins and Richie James, so it could easily kind of swing back the other way this week. So I always like kind of getting guys coming off a bad game here. So let's get some differentiation. Go with Slayton at 4,900.
Yeah, I like it. I'm gonna double stack Mike White with Tyler Conklin. I think he's one of the many players that gets a boost with White back under center. Went back to over 70% routes run rate last week, 73%, and he showed top 10 upside this season whenever he can hit that, and he has a efficient quarterback under center. So let's go with him. He's 2,900. Yikes! So that gives you 8,900.
Yeah.
Is there anybody even like in that range?
Yeah, Eckler, Tyreek, Devontae.
Oh, okay, cool.
I gotta go
All
Eckler.
right.
Remember, I was talking on the
pod
last week. Multi-touchdown games, and what does he do? Another multi-touchdown game. He just does this, routinely, which is he's doing it about a third of the time, which is just absurd. So yeah, we're gonna go with Austin Eckler here and get some upside. So we got Mike White at 5,400 at QB. The running backs for net 5,600 against the Panthers. We got ETN 6,400 at Houston, and Eckler's in our flex 8,500 at home against the Rams. Garrett Wilson stacked with Mike White at wide receiver against Seattle. He's 5,500. Amon-Ra St. Brown 7,800 against the Bears, and Darius Slayton 4,900 against the Colts. Tyler Conklin also stacked with Mike White 2,900 against the Seahawks at tight end. And our defense, the New England Patriots, 400 left on the table, which is good. It means a lot of people shouldn't have this same exact lineup. All right. Let's switch over to FanDuel.
So FanDuel, it looks like they made this slate before they flexed Steelers Ravens this Sunday night. So this doesn't have Rams Chargers on it.
Yeah.
And it does have Steelers Ravens. Interesting little wrinkle between the two sites this week.
Yeah. All right. You can start us off. What you got?
All right. So I'm gonna go with I think wide receiver to start. Never mind. I lied. I'm going. Yeah. Yeah. Jahan Dotson. He's 6,100. He is the perfect FanDuel type play. Probably going to be fairly chalky at that price, but I think he's still viable in tourneys.
All right. Let's see. All right, since we went, let's go Kenneth Walker the third here.
Nice.
The Jets, 6,700. I think he's gonna get a ton of work because that Jets pass defense is pretty strong. And you mentioned on the on our player projections pod that you're down on Geno Smith. So I do think that makes sense. Geno, tough matchup, Kenneth Walker back healthy. Give him, 20 plus touches and see what happens against this Jets D, who ETN just had a very good game against. That was kind of the strategy the Jaguars used as well. So, like me some Kenneth Walker, 6,700. That leaves us just over 6,700 average for our remaining 7.
I'll do the honors of taking the defense. I think I'm going top heavy here. I'm looking at the Giants versus the Colts. I mean, they're going to blitz the crap out of Nick Foles, if he starts again, could see a ton of sacks, or the Chiefs against the Broncos. Both are my top 2 defenses, and they're not too expensive. I'll go with the Chiefs though, with Russ Wilson likely throwing it around a ton. Could be a sneaky spot for them, but yeah, 4,300.
Maybe they cover Jerry Jeudy this time.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. All right, let's see here. Let's go with Isaiah Pacheco. Then let's stack him with the Chiefs D.
Nice.
McKinnon's been getting all the love the last few weeks, but Pacheco, if we're kind of looking for Chiefs defense domination, I think Pacheco getting some early down work here. Rookie coming on strong late in the year. I think he could get some work and kind of hit that 19-20 carry threshold that he's hit a couple of times.
Yep.
So let's go with him, 6,300 against the Broncos after we saw Cam Akers just run
wild
on
career game against them.
Right.
And yeah, Pacheco dominated early down work last week. So perfect type of FanDuel play. Let's get the quarterback going. I wanted to take Rodgers, but again, that all depends on if Christian Watson's playing or not. So any idea if Watson's expected to return or?
Yeah, I think he's still questionable. I mean, I think it's like the normal, 70% at this point. I don't think we know more or less.
Damn, he was about to go off. I had the over 50.5 and he got knocked out with 49 at halftime. That was brutal. But I just hate using guys that end up being ruled out. I mean, Deshaun Watson is also kind of sneaky on FanDuel. He's 6,700. Washington's a pass funnel defense. Are there any guys that sticks out? Like,
we can roll Watson. I mean, he's gonna not probably get that much rostership because he's been so terrible. So,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's no denying how bad he's been.
Yeah.
So let's go with him. He has a couple potential stacking options too.
Yeah. Let's see.
His rostership will be super low, I'm guessing.
Yeah. Let's go with let's see. What's Cooper and what's 71? Yeah, let's go with Cooper. Let's go to Amari Cooper here. Actually, no, let's go with Peoples-Jones, just because Peoples-Jones has been the one that struggled. So I think Cooper's going to draw more, be in more lineups, be more popular here. So let's go Peoples-Jones at 6,500. That gives us an average of 7,800 for wide receiver, tight end, flex. So stand up.
Yeah. Oh God, all the top receivers are coming off bad games.
Perfect.
Yeah, no
not
kidding.
Justin Jefferson.
I know, yeah.
Not Justin Jefferson.
He's worth every penny too. We could afford him.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go with him. We rarely take him, so might as well.
All right. Tight end. Let's see who we got here.
Evan Ingram is way too cheap on FanDuel.
Oh yeah, 5,800. But that leaves us. Yeah. Let's do that. 5,800.
How much is that?
Leave us 8,400. So yeah, you still got a bunch of options.
Okay. And the flex, even better.
Yep.
So that's Travis Kelce, double down on tight ends. That's an option.
We already got Pacheco though in the Chiefs D. So
yeah.
AJ Brown is 84, but we wouldn't leave anything on the table. Dalvin Cook, but we would be stacking with Jefferson. You got Amon-Ra again. Hopkins at 8,100. No one's gonna touch him.
Yeah, I was. He set the record or something with the fewest yards on 10 targets last week. So that's like luck rankings version.
That we gotta play Hopkins between Koerner and St. Brown.
Who the hell's gonna be quarterback? Is McCoy gonna return? Like,
McSorley? I don't know.
If it's McSorley again, maybe it's another Greg Dortch week.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Hopkins, you got to do DFS. You got to do this kind of thing in turn.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
The guy,
you're preaching the choir.
Overpriced, coming off the bad game. That's just
spend up to be contrarian.
I mean, we got some chalk in here. We got Jefferson. We got Evan Ingram. So yeah, let's do that. With Hopkins.
That's definitely spending up to be contrarian. He is way too expensive for like cash.
Yeah, absolutely.
But he obviously has a massive ceiling. So if you can get Hopkins when he's going to be rostered, I would say 2.3%. That's my over under. If he goes off, you're the only team that has him, makes this lineup a bit more unique. So love that.
All right. So yeah, we got all right, so we got the hell.
Did you miss somebody or
no? Just FanDuel was freezing.
Oh.
All right. So we got Deshaun Watson at quarterback at 6,700. Ken Walker, running back, 6,700 as well, going against the Jets. Pacheco, 6,300 at running back against the Broncos. Our wide receivers, Jahan Dotson, 6,100 against Cleveland. Donovan Peoples-Jones, 6,500 against Washington. And then Justin Jefferson, 9,200 at Green Bay. Our tight end, Evan Engram, 5,800 at Houston. And DeAndre Hopkins in the flex, 8,100 against, or at the Falcons, I should say. We got Pacheco stacked with the Chiefs D, 4,300 for them against the Broncos at home. And that's going to do it for our Week 17 fantasy preview episode right here on the Fantasy Flex. For more great content from Sean and I, be sure to check out our full player projections episode out right now over on the Action Network podcast channel. And every Friday morning, be sure to check for our night shift episode where we break down the Sunday and Monday night football primetime slates, actionnetwork.com for all of our NFL projections, fantasy content, betting content as well. And fantasylabs.com for our DFS tools and models. You can find Sean on Twitter at @_oddsmaker. You can find me at Chris Raybon, and you can find us at those same handles on the free award-winning Action Network app. Happy New Year, and let's get this money.